Two unemployed actors. Two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we've got a busy show for you today. We had a gap of a week, so it's been a fortnight since you've heard us, and we know you've been shouting out for more. You've missed us terribly.
We hear your calls.
Speaking of which, a shout out to listeners in San Jose, California, and Liverpool, England. There we go.
Wow.
And everyone else who's listening, obviously. Don't forget to subscribe on Facebook, Insta, follow us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe on your favourite podcast platform. Is that all the instructions we want to shout at our listeners? I think so.
And listen.
Just listen and enjoy it.
Listen.
Yeah, actually listen. Actually listen. Relax. Listen up. If you've got a question, let us know.
Yep.
Other than that, just be creepy silent.
Freddie,
Fred is creating chaos on the desk. So those of you not watching on YouTube, he is a sausage dog, and his ass is a long way back, and he sometimes knocks over.
He doesn't know where it is.
Light box because he doesn't quite understand his turning circle.
He can't do U's. He
can't do U-turns.
5-point turns always, don't you?
It's he's a little stretched slinky, aren't you, mate?
God.
Very busy.
Such a snake. All right.
Okay. Anyway, it's not about him.
Sometimes.
There's been with the where to start? Speak properly.
It's good for a podcast.
One job talk. So I had with the union.
You do it for a living, Max.
I know, right? The MEAA here in Sydney, here in Australia, the union, they've been really helpful in bringing professionals to members to help you with your learning. And I think doing it over the internet is great. Online is great. I've been to a few in the room, and they have some in certain states, etc., which is great. But I mean, obviously, opening up to many people is a wonderful thing. Last week was Anousha, who's a casting director here in Australia. There was 100 people on, which is great. I mean, because we wouldn't have fit in the room otherwise. And Anousha Zarkesh, who she basically used to work for Mulliners here in Australia for about 10 plus years. Big casting agency here in Australia, and on her own for a while, and has a list of credits behind her name. So fantastic to sort of get.
Has she opened her own company?
Yeah, she's been on her own for about 10 years or so, I think.
What's her company called now?
It's her name.
Oh, it's just her name.
Because she's the cast director. It's her name. It's
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Whoops.
Like Liz Mulliner and Mulliners.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very tricky.
Yeah. Hard to keep up.
So essentially, it was interesting to get some tips. For me, though, too, a question of how do you actually reach out to find the talent? Like, how do you brief to agents and all that sort of stuff? So what happens is you kind of negotiates with the networks early.
Okay.
So if it's a big network production, there's obviously a budget, and they have certain names in mind, perhaps like marquee sort of names.
Yeah, right.
That they want and that are crucial to sort of unlocking more finance, perhaps, or more of the budget. And so they might have a few in mind. Meet with the director, the producer, and sort of have a chat about that. And maybe we'll already have a few sort of names percolating.
Yeah. Sure.
And then, no, Frederick, don't do that. That's my Pando project. Might have a few names percolating, and then from there walk away with a clear understanding of what the tone of the show is going to be, which is kind of important.
Yeah,
and right. Sort of know then how to go about casting for certain.
So this was a Zoom call about how they cast and how casting.
Yeah, it's like an hour to just ask your questions to a casting director with a lot of experience.
Because I read a similar article. You did Zoom. I read an article about Kirsty McGregor.
Right.
And her story from hospitality to casting agent.
Yeah.
And how she works with the director and how she works to pick the correct. She talked. One of the phrases she used that was repeated was like, "Our job is to find the right actor, not the best actor," which is cool.
Who's the best person to bring that character to life?
Yeah.
In the tone of the show, and
there may be a better actor, but they may not be as right.
Yeah,
as this other one. Yeah.
You're right, and it brings up another point too, because Anousha sees lots of people, lots of actors, as you can appreciate, particularly with the TVC casting, because it's not always film and television.
Yeah.
And there might be someone who's not right for a commercial, but was great at taking a direction, etc. And they might see them again. Remember how I told you about one? I've been 6 times, you know. But she's like, but then there might be a film role coming up, and it's like, oh, I've got somebody in mind who I saw doing a TVC commercial audition, didn't get the part, but hey, that person could be perfect for this role. And could even be a time when there'll be someone she might want to pitch who she sees as perfect, but isn't quite there in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to like obviously get in front of the casting director, and the one way is your television commercial auditions. But she doesn't mind, like Kirsty said when she did her Zoom, doesn't mind seeing people's submissions directly or through an agent. Just here's Sam, here's Max, here's what they've been up to, their latest project. Hope you enjoy the look, or send them a link to, like, I'll send them the interrogation. Here's latest short film that I just finished. Really proud of it. Be happy if you wanted to have a look, if you've got 8 minutes spare at some stage, and you put your link into your IMDb or your CV or whatever, and mention your agent's name, because often there's things that are happening right now, and they can just go, oh my God, this person's perfect for project 6 or 7 that's on the books at the moment, or just constantly reaching out.
Yeah.
With constructive stuff, not like, have you got a job for me, but like...
Yeah, send them like your good stuff. Don't send the shit stuff.
Filter appropriately.
Definitely. And like don't, like Grant says, he says, it's better to send them nothing than shit stuff.
Exactly.
And people say it's better to send them something. It's like, no.
I mean, are they going to open the second email if the first one was a bit...
Yeah.
And the links don't work and stuff? Someone said that. I remember going to an actor event.
Yeah.
And a producer actually said someone missed out on a role because the link expired. So they'd sent them their work and said, I'm really interested, passionate about it, love to know more, blah, blah, here's the thing. And then was going through, like, because we're talking months between email receipt and actual decision being made.
Yeah.
Knew the name, knew the person, but didn't know quite how their work would fit into this genre or this sort of feel.
Yeah.
So when they went to click on it, it's like opening, well, they've got, how many others to say, and just went through and then later in a conversation with the person's agent, it's like, oh, didn't you look at blah, blah, blah? Thanks, Fred. Fred's just
interrupted.
Pushed the light box on. I'm trying to do a show here, mate. It's not all about you strutting around like it's a runway.
Believe that for
it's not a catwalk. Seriously, thanks for the outtakes, though.
You're a bloody dog.
So I think that was really interesting. Like little details. And we're so focused sometimes on reading the script out loud. It's like, well, don't forget the details to bring it to life.
I mean, I know that WeTransfer links do expire. I know that.
Yes, they do.
So...
But if you've got a Vimeo,
if you send a Vimeo,
put it on a Vimeo
or
your
YouTube.
I know, exactly. There are ways around it. I know. Like, another pet hate. Well, another pet hate. I should say another casting director mentions the same pet hate. Actors who turn up and they're not prepared. By that I mean they're not all over the script. They're trying to read from it, and she can pick lazy people like that apparently really quickly. She's like, if you haven't made the effort, get out. Doesn't happen very often, but life happens. We get that, but everyone else is here and prepared. And that's really important. Like, turn up prepared. Like, if you've been gifted this 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is in front of a casting director, don't, know the lines off by heart so that you can be present in the moment and work your magic.
Yeah.
Have a few different ways, a few different takes, have some questions, like, make the most of it. Because if you turn up and you're prepared, even though you might not get the role, at least they can see you as someone who can take direction, who's versatile. You can provide a few different ideas, some fresh ideas. You're confident with the reader. You're nice and professional to everyone, which makes sense because remember we spoke about it a couple of podcasts ago how you're going to be someone in a team environment for 12 plus hours a day.
You're going to be good to work with.
Got to be someone who's fun to work with.
What was her last name?
Anousha Zarkesh.
I've never heard of Zarke's casting or anything.
Well, her name's Anousha Zarkesh, so she's got a
Is it a big one here? Like, what do they cast? Just commercials?
She works as a freelancer, so it's her.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I mean.
Anousha worked for Mulliners for over a decade.
Yes.
Which gave her lots of contacts with lots of directors and lots of producers and production companies she's worked with, and then decided it's time to branch out on her own. And there is Anousha who can get contacted from a director saying, look, I've got this project. It's early days yet, but I'm writing with so-and-so in mind. What do you think? And the tone is, and then and then that then starts the process.
Yeah.
Or it's a production company with existing project and just saying, look, we want to refresh roles A, B, C, and what can we do?
Yeah, okay.
And as any freelancer, you've got to be quite competitive, but you've also got to be able to deliver. And some of her experience, like some of her, I'll put in the social and the episode page, some of the previous projects that she's cast for. But yeah, I mean, look, it's just really important to be prepared when you turn up. Like things that you think, oh my God, you look forward to these opportunities, don't waste it. But I'm like, I still can't believe someone would turn up and not be anyway.
I've done it before.
Oh, what?
No, like it was a really, like, I regret it so much, and it was.
Was this years ago when you were?
It was a couple years ago. Wasn't at. It's still like I've experienced a lot.
Yeah,
like, I've
2
grown
years
a
of
lot in
experience
this
is a lot. Yeah.
in my particular time, and I was reasonably younger or whatever, and I was in the midst of busyness within the industry, so I wasn't like, oh, I didn't prepare because I was
idle.
making too many coffees or whatever.
Yeah.
I was busy within the industry. Not an excuse, but that was my excuse, and I didn't learn the script that well. But I did learn like 2 pages of the script in front of the casting agent in like 10 seconds.
Okay.
And I did explain to him that it was because of other industry
When
things.
did you receive the script? Was it like the day before sort of thing? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was I didn't have. But like I can learn script that much like that, and that's what I showed him. But
it's just obviously
before.
easier, isn't it, when you're off book and you've been experimenting a few different ways to bring it to life
100%.
and all that sort of stuff. And
I will never go to a casting unprepared again.
No,
I just feel bad.
It's a hard way to learn.
I don't want them to remember me that way, and
No.
like I can email them, but it was ages ago. They've probably forgotten about me for now. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Do
you remember what it was for? Was it a television commercial or?
It was a TV show.
Okay.
It was a Nickelodeon TV show.
Oh, Nicky.
Yeah. And it was a good casting agent as well. It was Newman Sweeney.
Oh yeah,
Sweeney.
they're decent.
Yeah.
Chunky big.
And yeah, so hopefully he's forgotten about it. He probably has, to be honest. But I can also email him and apologize again and just explain, which could be cool too. I haven't yet, but
yeah.
But
because I haven't forgotten. I still have nightmares.
Yeah.
I need you to say it's okay just so I can sleep at night.
Yeah, you just don't want that reputation, and I'm as an actor, you don't have to be obviously constantly afraid, but don't you're afraid of your reputation if you stuff it up or something.
It's an important thing in a small
You're afraid of
world
stuffing up your
that is this industry, certainly in Australia.
Yeah.
You want to be known as someone who turns up on the spot, ready to go.
That was the first audition I did that with.
Because I remember when I gave some feedback on Mark Morrissey, Mr. Super Agent in Australia, saying that some people struggle coming from, a self-tape audition in your lounge room sort of thing to suddenly being cast. If there is no shortlisting, if there is no further casting offered, if you get cast straight off the self-tape, next thing you know, you're in the States and you're on a set and there's like 50 to 100 crew.
Yeah, you were saying that, yeah.
So, like I was saying then, it's another reason why you need to be practiced at being well prepared.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge, two very different, extremely different environments, and there's no one helping you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
One minute you're talking to the mirror, or your mum, doing a self-tape with your mum, as you do. Next thing you know, there's 50 crew and you're about to make your debut and it's action, off you go. So I guess the more you're used to being prepared, 100%.
And also the more experience you have even on small short films
sets,
or small, unpaid things. That's why those are so good. But also making contacts. You try and make contacts, especially with like people at afters. They're the future of filmmaking here.
Yeah.
They're the future filmmakers. So if you have contacts there, that's amazing. So do student short films. You're like, not another student short film. Well, those students are the future filmmakers here.
And sometimes there's a project that has a character that you haven't played before, or is a great stretch, or something you've been
it's good for
looking
you as well,
forward to,
100%.
or a genre that you're really interested in.
Yeah, add it to your show reel.
Exactly.
All that stuff.
So, have you been seeing your mentor, your teacher,
yes.
Grant Thompson?
Yes. So
Any amazing stories? Any huge wins?
I'm just like, so there are some scripts that are like great for me, and then there are some obviously that aren't. Like every actor,
Do you mean scripts that you find more
easier,
challenging?
yeah, of course,
Okay.
more challenging, and like it's so obviously I'm getting better and better.
Right.
I'm still struggling to be present in the moment. Maybe that was just last week. I was struggling like to be present within the script and within the character. I was, and that's what's like. I need to break down some walls. Like I can very easily, which is a good thing in everyday life. It's very easy for me to separate like reality from fake, which is good in a sense of like I don't care what people think about me, and if someone says something, I'm like, I know, and if Grant's trying to make me cry by saying stuff, I'm like, you're my acting coach, Grant Thompson, and I separate that in my head, even though I'm like, stop it, you're trying to do this, which isn't great for an actor. So I'm working with him to try and break down those emotional barriers. But it's working. But this particular script, I mean, fair enough, I was struggling a bit with it. It was a breakup scene, and I was doing it with Jess.
Right.
And I guess for some people that would be easier because we're an actual couple.
Yes.
But at the same time, I thought of it like, here's the end point of the scene. Here's the breakup.
Right.
This is where Jess and I are. We are lovers. If I did it, with another actor, we'd be in neutral ground, and it wouldn't be as much traveling to get to that point for me, emotionally, personally. Like a breakup is way beyond. We've never done that. We're not feeling that. If I was with another actor, it would be more neutral ground. At the same time, we then tried that exact same script, which is amazing how versatile it was, but exact same script in a friend kind of relationship. And we were friends before, and that one was probably one of the best.
Okay.
We did it. And obviously pulling from, that's what acting is. But with like a lot of the couple scenes that Jess and I have done where they're just couple kind of in everyday life scenes, they work really well. I think I struggled with a breakup scene with Jess.
Do you substitute, like, are you substituting like an ex or something else that brings out that emotion to help, or you just got caught up in the fact that it's Jess? And
I try that, and that's what makes me not present.
Right.
So I'm trying to be present, listening, looking at Jess. Listening is important, and that's I'm getting that.
Yeah.
But by doing that, I'm seeing Jess, or I'm seeing her character at least. I think it is a bit harder, if you're in such a loving relationship and you're trying to do a breakup scene.
Yeah.
That would be highly difficult. Yeah. But with it, for me, I was explaining to Grant. I said, if I had an actor that I'd never met before here doing this scene with me, I'll be, even though don't act, just be.
Yeah.
But I'd be in acting mode. It would be like, this is another character to me, and yes, there's that background of, oh, this has been a long-term relationship, you're now breaking up, there's all that heartache, but I don't know, it was difficult to yell at her or get angry at her or try and hurt her. And lucky that you don't, as an actor, you don't generally work opposite your partner.
So it's a unique situation.
Yeah, of course. And he wanted to do that.
I think,
just to throw
what works for me is sort of having a few different substitutions available to me emotionally. Like I'll have, it might not even be related to the scene, to the circumstances. It might be completely different, but will help me show that right emotion.
Channel the emotion.
Yeah, because talking to Anthony Brandon Wong, I mean, I've seen him on stage many a times on, with the Sydney Theatre Company, for example. Yeah. And, you're doing 8 shows a week for weeks. So, and he said, I'll have some images in the dressing room to help me get into the character, get into the moment. And then obviously there's images to do with certain key words or key moments, emotional points, emotional beats within certain scenes. But he might find that on a certain, it might be the third time, it might be the 30th performance, but in this particular moment, that's not strong enough. It's not working for him.
Yeah, okay.
And then he'll visualize something else.
Yeah, sure.
Whether it's a partner, a friend, for example, or it's a parent.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever helps him access that emotion that he needs to convey.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's got to look,
of course,
fresh and and in the moment.
Yeah, of course.
Every time out of 8 times a week.
Yeah, and I did do that with the actor pitch competition. I actually
that's right.
substituted someone in my head that I was able to bring up some anger or jealousy and all that stuff, and it works.
Yeah.
And it worked. Maybe I just had a shitty week this time, and I just didn't feel like
Life
I could
happens.
do it. Yeah,
and sometimes it's
of
harder
course.
to access.
Yeah.
Other times it comes to you intuitively, and you
Of
don't even
course.
have to think about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
But
just go with the flow.
He's helping me, and yeah, we're gonna get to a point where hopefully my emotions are just broken down. It'll be so good. Like I'm like, make me cry. Like I want to be able to pull from that.
I feel like I need to recommend an Anthony Brandon Wong workshop too as well.
You reckon?
I think I do. I think, like, remember where I came from. 20 years of life experience, corporate environment.
Yeah.
Hide your emotions under multiple layers. You know, you can't cry negotiating with a customer, right?
Yeah.
As much as you might want to at times. But to shake that off,
Yeah.
to make it suddenly I'm more available to myself in a way as an actor. It was just it's a huge mindset change. And in a way, I remember the moment too with the first workshop, because now I've done 2, where he really broke me down to the point where, and it's because he provides this safe environment, I found it really easy to do that.
Okay.
Safe environment emotionally, there's only 6 other people, whatever. And it was really cool. Like suddenly I just found my voice, and I was just projecting the right emotion, and everything was just coming together, and it just felt amazing. And I'm like, what the just happened?
Where was it? Where was the workshop? Where does it happen?
I mean, I've completed a workshop with him twice in different locations, and you know, all he needs is an empty
they're all
room
here in Sydney.
In Sydney,
yeah.
He does some in other states and also online.
Yeah.
But look, I think the interesting thing is he'll get to know you before you even walk in the room. So, you know, your headshot and your CV, but also a questionnaire. So, you know, what frustrates you, what makes you feel good about X and Y, whatever, and just to get to know you in a bit more depth. So what sort of triggers might there be, for example? What sort of levers to pull and push, like what Grant's doing with you at the moment? And I think that's really great, but also because you're in this intense environment, you're in this room for 2 days.
Yeah.
And you're working through a couple of scenes in a couple of different ways. And with your experience, you might even partner you up with someone, and you'll meet and go through scene beforehand and have your best my scene moment and present that to him. And you'll put if you want to get your value out of it, absolutely put everything into it. I remember I met Dane several times. We went through the scene and we're like, this is great. We experimented with more physicality. We pulled it back. We went louder. All that sort of stuff. We had a great time, and we presented it to him. And I have to say, what we finished with was so different to what we had presented to him.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's more to learn how you could use different things different processes, if you like, to get from A to B to get to that final moment. And it was just really interesting. And sometimes strong substitutions that I thought were working weren't working. He's like, no.
Yeah, right.
No. So it was really, and the second one, he said he was happy to. We actually got him Dane and I to direct us in a showreel scene, which I've never done before. It was really weird. But you know, when you pay someone to film and do all that stuff for a scene, for a showreel, but having an opportunity to get Anthony in there to do it for you, direct with you, amazing.
And that's what Grant does pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
I feel it's something to consider, because I'd be interested to get your feedback too on how that, because it's just...
I'll probably wait until I can actually go to a workshop again, like, I don't know, during pandemic.
Yeah, I think they're online or something at the moment.
Yeah,
I don't know how that
I think
works,
I'd prefer to do it in person though.
I know. Having done a couple of them in person, absolutely. I think that's really where you get lots out.
Yeah.
But as usual, the more you do to prepare, because he does, and he prepares on you, so it's like, so you know, sort of how to pull and push. And maybe it is, you know, you want to do it in a group where Jess isn't there, just to really make sure you got what you want, you know, that level, that neutral with everyone.
Yeah.
Some food for thought. Wow.
Wow. It's not even but even having her there is not a problem. It's sometimes doing a scene that's so far from us.
Yeah.
But that's why the ones that are close to us work. Obviously,
I feel
with anyone.
Quite obviously, he'd put you in a scene with someone else, but yeah, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
If you can push through those barriers to do extraordinary stuff that you would never think of doing in this relationship, and you can pull off that great scene with Jess, that's Because then when you are in a
Yeah.
equitable environment
Yeah.
and you're neutral, it
Yeah.
should be even easy
Well,
for
we're
you
still
to...
trying this scene. We have to send Grant a few self-tapes before Friday again, so I think it's going to be good. It's also I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, you sit in your room and you can do that scene amazingly as far as you think. But then, like, obviously I'm comfortable at Grant's house, but nowhere near as comfortable as I am at my own house.
Yep.
And it's a space where your mindset, even subconsciously, goes, I am now at my acting workshop.
Exactly.
And you get in a mindset that you don't want to be in. Tenseness shows up on camera. Everything shows up on camera.
And I know Grant's, he's not like an intimidating guy. Like,
No,
you know,
well.
once you get to know him. But,
He can be.
You know what I mean?
He's
like,
lovely, but he can be.
It's for to improve your work. Like, you're both there to help you work. So it's a nice safe space. But
yeah.
It can be really intimidating. Like, and I guess that's something to get used to acknowledge and to use if you can.
Yeah, of
because
course.
that's going to happen whether you're in front of a 50 crew or an audition for the
course.
first time for the stage or something. You know, like, it's like,
But not even it's not even intimidating. It's just like the atmosphere. You are in a place that you're not always in,
outside of your comfort zone.
which is good to practice with. But it is that it's
You're
like,
not talking to your favourite mirror.
Yeah, I just did this at home. Why is it different now? You know. Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting, isn't it? I get what you feel.
I hate watching myself, like doing it to myself though, in the mirror. Like, it's good to work on, but you're looking at yourself as someone else, and you're like, what the fuck?
I know, when you do it for too long, it's like,
it's creepy.
Stop it, Max.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Bring back another personality.
Yeah, and then you hold up Fred in front of your face.
Fred's a good critic.
Yeah.
Especially with voiceovers. I think I've got a good take and he'll bark in the middle of it, and I know I'll do better. Because I have to. Well, here's hoping we get some solid auditions soon. I know, like, if you are practicing all the time and saying, I mean, how easy is it going to be now if someone taps you on the shoulder and says, come in for an audition? Because you're constantly working through scenes with Grant in mind and that. It's great.
It's very helpful.
Fingers crossed. I know more briefs
for
are flying around left, right and centre. So the world is getting sort of back to normal-ish.
Yes. Jump back into it. Can't wait. I'm missing
Fingers crossed. All right. Well, you've been listening to Two Unemployed Actors. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that sort of exciting stuff. We'll be back next week. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
Bye.
See you guys.
Two unemployed actors.